Is your hair falling out and you're not sure if it's just normal menopause stuff or something else? Mine is, so today I'm going to talk about it, what's been happening with my hair, what I've learned about hair loss, what we can do about it, and yes, I'm getting a haircut. If you're new here, hi, I'm Ruth, retired doctor turned health coach, and I talk about science-backed well-being for over 50s women who want to feel good without the gimmicks. And if you're returning, then thank you, it's lovely to have you back. A couple of months ago, I started noticing more hair in the shower plug hole, and my ponytail was definitely getting thinner. I've always played around with hairstyles. I've been long, I've had a fringe or bangs, I've had a pixie cut, I've gone pink, I've gone back to my natural brown, and lately I've been trying to embrace my natural waves. But I'm starting to notice real thinning, and it's worse at the crown and here at the sides. And you're not going to see on camera, but I'm getting some short wispy bits at the front which look like breakage. And to be honest, I really noticed it when editing one of these videos. I turned to the side and kind of went, ooh, that's new? These bits here look really stringy and kind of sad. And it's not just bothering me because how it looks, it's also the uncertainty. So yeah, is this the start of something? Is this going to get worse? I don't know. Now, I've been a little bit naughty in that I've not had my hair cut for absolutely ages because I've been trying to grow it. But I've decided it's time for a change and enough is enough. So tomorrow I'm going to go and see my lovely hairdresser Petra and have a chat to her and see what she suggests. But my inclination is that I want a good couple of inches off. Now, I am an expert in health coaching and behaviour change, and I'm halfway through a master's in nutrition, but I'm not a dermatologist. And if I'm honest, I don't think I learned an awful lot about hair in medical school. Now, if you want a deep dive, I'll link to a brilliant dermatologist I've discovered here on YouTube called Dr. Sam Ellis. So go check out her videos on hair loss because they're really helpful. But here's a quick summary of what I have learned so you don't spend hours Googling like I've just done. And as ever, this video is for information. It does not constitute medical advice. So firstly, the hair cycle. So this is how hair grows. And there's 3 or 4 stages depending on who you talk to. Firstly, anagen, which is the growing phase. 85 to 90% of your hair is here and it lasts from 2 to 8 years. Secondly is catagen. This is a 2-week transition phase affecting only 1 to 3% of your hairs, and the hair follicles shrink and detach from the hair shaft. Thirdly, we have telogen. It's a resting phase lasting 2 to 3 months when the hair stops growing as new replacement hairs start forming the follicles. And lastly, there is exogen, which is an extension of telogen where the hair is shed as the new hair pushes through. Now, hormone shifts are the biggest driver for midlife hair loss in women. Oh yay, it's those hormones again. Estrogen helps hair to stay in the growth phase and progesterone balances out androgens. Now, testosterone is the main androgen, but that's converted to something called dihydrotestosterone or DHT by an enzyme. And DHT is the main cause of hair loss. Now, as we know, in the menopause, your estrogen and your progesterone decline, and this does 2 things. Firstly, there's less estrogen, so there's less hair in the growing phase, and more enters telogen early, leading to increased shedding, and this is called telogen effluvium. And secondly, there's a relative increase in androgens, particularly DHT, and this acts on the hair follicles, which makes them smaller. So this leads to hair being shorter, finer, and falling out more. And this leads to so-called female pattern androgenic alopecia. So alopecia is the medical word for hair loss, androgenic means it's driven by androgens, and female pattern to distinguish it from the male pattern. Now, the female pattern tends to basically give you widening of the hair at the parting and thinning of the hair at the crown. Now, the last thing to say is that an underactive thyroid can also cause hair loss, along with some other symptoms like fatigue, cold sensitivity and constipation. So if this is a concern, then please speak to your doctor. And the same goes for if you have a lot of hair loss really rapidly, or you have scalp pain or redness, then you need to speak to your family doctor or dermatologist. So now I'm going to run through all the things that we can do about it, and starting with nutrition, because this is where I can add some value. Now, the nutrients most commonly linked to hair loss are iron and vitamin D. Now, here in the UK, we don't make enough vitamin D in our skin from sunlight in the winter months, so around October to March, which is why the NHS suggests supplementation. And because I'm really pale and wear high factor sunscreen a lot, I take my vitamin D supplements all year round. Iron is found in two forms. So firstly, there's heme iron, which is found in meat, poultry and fish. And secondly, there is non-heme iron, which is found in plants. So vegetables such as peas, broccoli, kale and spinach, and also beans, pulses and grains, together with eggs and also dark chocolate. Oh, happy day. Now, plant iron is less well absorbed than heme iron, but absorption is increased by vitamin C, so a good reason to eat your veggies. Now, a few other nutrients are probably helpful, including riboflavin, which is vitamin B2, biotin, which is vitamin B7, folate, vitamin B12, zinc and vitamin E. But the evidence for supplementing with these isn't strong. Now, biotin is interesting because a lot of people recommend it online. And so I've been to the literature and had a good look, but there really isn't any concrete evidence for supplementing with it. So my personal approach is to stick to the basics, a well-balanced diet with lots of whole grains, fruit and vegetables. And because I donate blood regularly, I know my iron levels are okay. And it's also really important to make sure you're eating enough, so you're getting enough calories in, partly to get all your micronutrients and also because rapid weight loss is linked with hair loss. Now, the last thing is collagen. It's commonly marketed as a product for hair, skin and nails. And there is some evidence for hydrolyzed collagen in looking after our skin. So there's some evidence showing that it improves elasticity and it reduces the appearance of wrinkles. But I've had a good look and there's really not a lot out there for its use in hair. I found some total of one study on PubMed, so if you know of any other evidence, please link it in the comments below because I'd like to read it. And this study, yes, they gave some collagen, but they didn't give it on its own. They gave it with some other minerals and peptides. However, some people swear by it and say it really works for them. So if you want to give it a go, then great. And who knows, I might give it a go. I think with collagen supplements, the only thing it's likely to hurt is your bank balance because the stuff is so damn expensive. Now, stress is a biggie because it can trigger telogen effluvium, that's where the hair goes into the shedding phase. And the stress response is controlled by the HPA axis, so hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis, and that's what controls the release of the stress hormone cortisol. And there is evidence that estrogen and progesterone interact with the HPA axis, and this might help to explain why mood disorders are more common in the menopause and why we're more sensitive to stress. So learning to manage stress is vital, and not just for our hair, for our mood, our sleep, our appetite, and our overall well-being. And this is why balance is such a big part of the coaching work I do with women. It's not just about addressing food, it's about looking at the whole person. There's some evidence that caffeine and peptide-containing serums can help with hair loss by stimulating the follicles and by strengthening the hair. And I'm currently trialing one by a brand called Shampoo. I'm not being sponsored, by the way, my channel is too niche for that, I'm just curious. Minoxidil, aka Regain, is the main proven topical treatment, and it's available as a shampoo or a foam or as oral meds on prescription. There are also medications which block the conversion of DHT, like finasteride, but you'll need a doctor's consultation to discuss those properly. And the basics of hair care really matter as well. So using a really gentle shampoo, and I use this one by a brand called Curlsmith, again, not sponsored, and it is colour, fragrance and sulfate free. And using a nice moisturising conditioner to hydrate the hair, and being careful if you heat style. I don't at the moment, I'm avoiding a hairdryer, but if you do, using like a heat protecting spray. At the moment, I only comb my hair with a wide tooth comb, blot my locks dry with a microfiber towel and use a little hydrating styler and let it air dry. I use a hair oil once or twice a week before bed to add more moisture, and I'm trying sleeping with a silk pillowcase to minimise nighttime breakage. For more severe hair loss, there are some other paths, so platelet-rich plasma, low-level light therapy, hair transplants and wigs, or should I say crowns. Thank you to Lisa from Luxury and Life in the Middle for the terminology. I'll link her channel below. She's got a really good wig 101 video and she does a brilliant job of normalising wearing wigs. And now I'm going to sign off and come back and finish this video post-chop, so I'll see you on the other side. And here's the end result. So obviously I'm looking a lot sleeker and shinier, and like literally I've just stepped out of a salon than I would normally, and I'm sure once I get to wash and dry it, it won't look this fancy. But yeah, as you can see, I've had a good couple of inches lopped off. I am now the same length all round, and honestly I feel so much better. My hair looks and feels thicker, plus going and getting a new style and that lovely head massage you get at the hairdressers, that counts as some serious self-care. Hair loss isn't about vanity, it's about what's happening inside our bodies as we navigate this post-menopause chapter. Yes, there's things we can do, but sometimes it's not about reversing something, it's about responding to that thing with kindness and controlling the things we can control. I also realised that when I spoke about calories, I totally neglected to mention protein, so I'll make sure I do a video on that soon because it's a big topic. Now with my hair, I genuinely think I'm doing all I can from a lifestyle perspective, and I know that if things get worse, there's some other options for me to explore. But for now, I'm just going to enjoy my swishy new do and the fact that I'm showing up for myself. Have you been affected by menopause, hair loss? If you've got any top tips, I would love to hear about them. So if you could share them in the comments, that would be fantastic. Plus, if you enjoyed this video, if you could show it some thumbs up love, it would be really nice to let the algorithm know I'm here. Otherwise, I'll leave another video here on some frustrating menopause symptoms, and I'll see you there.